Welcome to Standard Chartered Money Insights, a podcast series by Standard Chartered Bank that brings you market views and insights on the go.
Welcome to Cut to the Chase. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of July. I'm Daniel Lam, your host for the podcast. Last Friday, I had dinner with a few friends from school, whom I have not seen in many years. Eventually, like many of the conversations from people of my age, we ended up talking about midlife crisis. Now, there are people that suffer less from such, or those that can suffer more, but there are never any quote-unquote good winners on such a topic. So, in a way, this does sound like the tariff and the trade war, right? There are no good winners, only those that suffer less. But in a world where fund float is prevalent in dictating the relative performance in equities, Chinese equities has been doing quite all right. When Trump got elected again, there was much concerns about Chinese equities due to Trump's weaponization of the tariffs. However, China played the rare earth card in the negotiations with the US, and that averted the worst outcomes that the markets have been concerned about. In fact, the market is now focusing upon the tariff negotiations of the US with other countries, while it is relatively calm on the Chinese front. The recent easing of US restrictions on semiconductor exports to China boosted sentiment and leading the Hang Seng Index to break above the key resistance at 24,500. Now, looking back over the last couple of years, the phrase government stimulus is almost synonymous with Chinese equities. Many long holders of Chinese equities were hoping for such. But because the environment is somewhat calmer now, we do not expect significant additional macro stimulus to be announced at the upcoming Politburo meeting, expected by the end of this month. China's economy outperformed in the first half this year due to front-loaded exports and fiscal policy. This is in contrast to 2024, when the second quarter growth slowed notably to below 5% year over year. Now, with the first half growth at 5.3% year over year, we see no urgency for policymakers to be introducing new stimulus. But the government is likely to be accelerating the utilization of remaining policy headroom, given emerging signs of weakness in the June data. They will be focused upon lifting domestic demand. Now, the PBOC press conference last week highlighted that policy transmission takes time. So the PBOC is pledging to maintain an accommodative policy stance, strengthening the implementation of existing support measures, and enhance the quality and effectiveness of financing services in the second half of the year. The central bank is also rolling out re-lending programs to support services consumption and elderly care. That is all from me for today. As always, if you enjoy this podcast, please don't forget to rate and like it. Thanks for listening, and we wish you a happy day ahead.
Thank you for listening to Standard Chartered Money Insights, a podcast series by Standard Chartered Bank. For more details, visit Market Views on the Go on our website or click the link in the description.